All right, today we are talking about learning from your mistakes. If you're going to be in business, this is going to be a big part of it for you. And that's why this topic is so important. If you're starting on your own and you're in the very beginning part of having your own business, or really anything in life, if you want to get better, knowing what we're about to talk about is going to make that much easier to accomplish and much easier to kind of understand the things that are coming your way. So let's get right into this. One of the biggest things everybody faces is they're afraid to make mistakes because they feel like that mistake may be impossible to come back from. When in reality, the people that are achieving the most and making the most progress know that every mistake is an opportunity to learn. It showed you another way not to do the thing. I believe it was Thomas Edison that instead of learned 1,000 ways or 10,000 ways to mess up, he learned 10,000 ways to not make a light bulb. It was a method of learning through failure, learning through mistakes. And when we can position our mindset in business, this is just going to keep coming. And in life, this is just going to keep coming to where there's more and more problems all the time, more mistakes that get made. We don't want to get stuck in not taking action, therefore never making progress. And do we want to make mistakes? Obviously not, but we learn a lot from them as long as we can change and adjust as they come along. Now, with mistakes in business, one of the things you're going to hear every guru, you're going to hear everyone talk about, anyone that's talking about growing your business, is going to be massive action. And that's because in business, you can't sit around and sit idle, or in life. If you want to make, we should call it in progress, in anything you do. You can't sit around and not do anything and hope there will be progress. You can't do it in your fitness. You can't do it in your health. You can't do it in your business. You can't do it in relationships. You can't just sit there and say, nothing's getting better. I don't get it. I don't understand why. You have to take action. And even more important, if you're wanting to dramatically change things, you need to take massive action. And that's a phrase you're going to hear thrown around in the business community all the time, is taking massive action. Well, when you take massive action, you should expect problems. You should expect mistakes. And as we've already went over, you should then be able to accept those mistakes you have made as learning opportunities. And the reason you're making so much progress so much faster is you're making so much action and taking so much action that you are making a lot of mistakes. But since you've done so much in general, you have the opportunity to do a lot of things right as well. And those things you do right mixed with those things you do wrong and learn from are going to propel you much further than the person who sits on the sideline, tries to make it perfect, never moves forward at all. These are two completely different people that have two completely different outcomes. One you can say made a ton of mistakes, but they still got shit done because in that act of making mistakes and taking massive action, they also got a few things right that were huge. And if you talk to anybody who's successful, they have failed, they have lost, they have had more problems than all the successes. But when they hit the ball, when they really nailed it, it covered all of that. But they would have never been in the situation to knock it out of the park if they weren't in the fucking game. Okay? So that's why this taking massive action, you should expect there to be lots of problems. It should be an indicator that you're doing something. Somebody who's not having problems, nothing's changing, nothing's catching on fire as they go, is probably not doing anything at all. And now the last piece of this, as we go over these other two aspects, is the most important piece is not getting it right and not making any mistakes. It is being able to pivot based off the mistakes you made. We were not profitable here. We see the mistake. We change. We did this one thing. It gave us bad results. We find the mistake. We change. So we pivot and we make changes quickly. We make decisions quickly on how to go in a different direction. All of this really can be summed up to being decisive and being able to make decisions. And when we do that, we are able to go from thing to thing to thing that was wrong, right? I can make a bunch of bad calls, but since I made those calls and took that massive action, I said, that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong. I more rapidly, quicker got to what was actually right and what actually made the difference. So your ability to be decisive, to pivot, to take in all this stuff you've done over the course of pushing out, like in taking massive action, being able to take that in and understand that all was wrong. We're going to keep pivoting until we find the right thing. That's a superpower. So if you're in business, back to what we started this with. If you're starting in business, you're starting in anything, expect to get stuff wrong. No one is got the handbook on how to do it all. They're figuring out a lot of this stuff on the way, and it's okay to not know. There's a lot of things I don't know, and I'm open to. I'm going to learn a lot more, and I'm going to not know stuff for a long time. And I have a lot of friends at my level, a million years past me, way starting out ahead of me, and they have the same thing. Causes imposter syndrome because so many people get so far into things. They have a business making 100,000 a year, 500,000 a year, a million a year, 5 million a year, 10 million a year, 100 million a year, and they're still like, shit, do I even deserve this? Because they don't have the answers. Give yourself the grace to know you don't have to have the answers. You're going to figure it out along the way. Also give yourself the grace to understand you're going to make mistakes. The biggest part of making a mistake is, can you learn from it? Can you put that in your bank of knowledge and pivot towards the next opportunity to get it right and move forward? Hey, if this video has motivated you at all to be okay with the ride, which is a real fucking journey, share this with somebody else that you know it could help, and give this a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave in the comments below, what was the last thing you did where you were just super, super scared and you took action anyway? What was the last thing you did where you're super, super scared and it froze you and you didn't do anything? Leave that in the comments. Everybody'd love to see. It would help other people realize you're not on an island. Everybody goes through this shit.